all these 12 uniforms are winter seasonal, and there is some great value, but there are some traps that you need to avoid. So here we are to break down all 12 of them, their value they had when they came and the value they have right now in the game. Hello gang, welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go through all the winter uniforms that we're going to get in a couple of days. There are a lot of them. It's the 6th year that we're getting seasonal uniform for winter, and winter used to be the first and the original seasonal that they actually asked us for money for a single uniform. And we're gonna start from the beginning and we're gonna go pair by pair, explain you what the character value was when he introduced into the game and what value he still have in the game, because as you can see here down below, I have done favorite all the characters that actually have winter uniform, and there are 12 characters. Yeah, it's 6 years, so it's 2 character per year, and you have to consider that the male characters are the one that you need to pay full price. The uniform, it's 1,750, and in this example you can see 2 female characters, and this is because it was the first one, and Deadpool transformed from a male to a female for the first time into Marvel Future Fight. We had something like this. So the first we're gonna go 2 by 2, year by year, and tell you all the information you need to know before you go through the game and buy the character, you know, spend the crystals, or even worse, spend real money on a character that you don't actually need, or you don't you don't want to let FOMO hit you for this specific character. So before we go through this breakdown, guys, I want you to make sure, breakdown tier list I would say, I want you to make sure that you have smashed the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know down below in the comments how many uniforms do you own from these 12, and how you feel like it's gonna end after the winter, you know, after the winter goes off, the winter season, how many are you going to have, you know. So let's start from somewhere, and the first one, as I told you, was Deadpool and Gwenpool. Deadpool transformed himself from a male to a female, and the main thing that this uniform was doing, it was also how it's called, synergistic uniform with the previous uniform he had this year. He was already a female, but pretty much this uniform was way better than the previous. This uniform was meta for World Boss Legend, from World Boss Ultimate back there, sorry, not World Boss Legend, and you could make some one shot on bosses, you know, States 99, one shot KO, combine his firepower, and actually not firepower, his ignored defense to 100%, more than 100%. So with one huge hit from Sarah Rogers or some other characters back there, you would able to do the one shots. Right now, both characters, Gwenpool and Deadpool, has no value. You shouldn't spend your money here. Deadpool is going to cost the crystals, and Gwenpool is going to cost 20 euros or dollars, and combined with the 10 tokens that it's gonna give you, in total you need to spend 30 tokens. These 30 tokens are going to cost $30, or $20, and 10 tokens after 1 week from the event is going to drop. They used to drop we're not sure about that, but they used to drop a login event that in the end of this winter season you're getting like 10 tokens, and you could get advantage of them, and not spend $10 to get an extra uniform. So Gwenpool and Deadpool are really outdated. You shouldn't go for any of these uniforms. And as you can see here, Gwenpool has already a new uniform that is way better. Deadpool also has 2 uniforms, one for PvE and one for PvP. The PvP has the most value right now, and you need to have his artifact, but these uniforms are outdated 100%. So let's go to the next one. The first, I suppose, was 2018 with Deadpool and Gwenpool, and the second was 2019 with Fox and Groot. Groot is the only seasonal uniform I have skipped right until now, and as you can see, other than the fact his sweet Christmas tree, yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. By the way, probably this video is gonna find you on Christmas or something. I'm not sure where I'm gonna drop it, but yes, this is something that yeah, it's sad that I have skipped that. It's just 1,750 crystals, and he's cute, but that's all he is, cute and nothing else. From the other side, we have White Fox being in the game for 5 years and still be the number one support for all leadership characters. And it's literally the best, the she already have the same buff. Don't get me wrong, she keeps this 65%. But the point is that from the previous uniform she used to have, which is a crystal uniform, she had to the 65% damage for all leadership characters. The leadership characters, it's the characters that have, if you go here and filter by ability, you could wanna come here, find the leadership characters, and it's all these characters, guys. All these characters can get buffed from White Fox, and the main character that you want to buff is your Luna Snow for ABL and ABX. The best, case scenario is having this character and buffing your Luna Snow day in, day out, all the weeks for ABL and ABX. The score increase from using this one on this one, it's around 500,000 to 1 million, depending on your account. And this 60% buff transforms to 65% on the new uniform. But the main thing from the new uniform, it's the uniform effects. The uniform effects here, as you can see, it's only 10% extra basic damage. That means it's a 60% plus a 10%. And when you go through the new uniform, the effects skyrockets, and there are way more. It's 50% more of this, 30% ignore dodge, which is important for ABX specifically, gives you a lot of value, and the chain hit damage. It seems like a lot, and they are a lot, but yes, the difference, it's like 500,000 to 1 million having the crystal uniform to have the paywall uniform. Still, in my mind, there is value there, because 500,000 to 1 million for all the speed days, there are a lot of days out there. If you don't use Luna Snow, then yes, the value of the character drops a lot, and you can use with the crystal uniform. But if you use the character, if you use Luna Snow for ABX and ABL, you have to consider that there are 2 ABX days, 3 ABL days, and also the no restriction day. Fox is the best character to use for Luna as a support, combined with someone like Coulson. But yes, in my mind, still has value and worth buying if you have some spare dollars, and you want to skyrocket, not skyrocket, but increase really, really a lot your performance for ABX and ABL, because 500,000 to 1 million for 6 to 9 days, we're talking about 10 to 12 million more if you if you play really good and you boost your performance. Still, a lot of people believe she's gonna end up getting a uniform, but has been 5 years and we haven't seen anything yet all this time, and this is weird, but it's fact. And yeah, I can't tell you do not buy the uniform. The value is still there, even if it doesn't feel like a lot. The very next duo for 2020 was Kingpin and Black Cat. Kingpin, when introduced into the game, he used to be the meta for combat villain of ABX. Back there were not ABL, so he was really strong for ABX. These days, he has no value, literally no value. Perhaps Alliance Conquest or something, Shadowland, but it's not like he gets a leadership, which is cool, and you can get advantage of it with some characters like Hulk, but generally speaking, yeah, doesn't worth going and buy Kingpin. And you need to consider that we're waiting Daredevil TV show, so he's gonna get something for sure. Same thing for Black Cat. The uniform was really, really, really nice. Like actually, Black Cat it's the same value as Fox in my mind, and perhaps for Black Cat the value is even more, because she has one of the, you know, she has a really nice leadership, really strong leadership for all villains. She is the best leadership in the game for villains, even if the numbers doesn't fit, you know, having a 65% damage. Actually, this uniform gives her leadership. Without this uniform, she doesn't have leadership. But the point is that the moment you get this character with a leadership, you can get advantage of the passive ability that she provides, which is this one on ABX. So with the moment you have the character with this leadership, you can use him and pass this passive ability to the enemy boss, and the enemy boss shield does not feels like really strong, because you can see it's 80% decrease all buffs. So the moment a beast gets the roar and gets himself some extra dodge, extra armor, defenses and stuff, you know, this give him only the 20% of the value of the buff. So the moment you pass this buff through your other skills, you know, you're using your third skill, you're using your fifth skill, and these skills provide this passive ability to the enemy boss, and this thing stacks somehow, and the boss does not recover from it. So every single time you're gonna do better, you know, without even need to do cancel the roar. And for some characters this helps, for some others does not help, but generally speaking, there is also this passive ability that she gives to all allies, which is all debuff effect by 40%. So 40% combined with 80% ends up being, actually it's 80% decrease all buffs to the enemies with a bonus of 40%. So the total amount you decrease the armor every single time boss trying to pop out armor, it's 115, something like this, because it's 80% and 40% of 80%, which is around 35, I think. So yeah, there is value here, there is value, and combined with her artifact, because her artifact has multiple buffs, you can see there is super villain, there is boss type, and they also get instinct boosted with 0.2%, 0.1%. Of course, the better the artifact, the better the value on the buff. But if you combine this buff here with her leadership and the fact that she provides the passive ability and the fact she provides also from her leadership ignore dodge, while without uniform she's doing nothing, you know, all this combined makes her the #1 leadership for all villain in the game. I'm using her with Doctor Strange. Think about that, her leadership is better than using Doctor Strange's leadership for the free ABL day and take advantage of an extra support like Valkyr. So her value is better than Valkyr combined with leadership of Doctor Strange. Yeah, it's that much. And the better the artifact, the better their performance, of course. But in my mind, if I had to pick between her and Fox, I would go for Black Cat, because Black Cat hasn't seen also a tier 3. So yeah, it's some plus and some minus, but Black Cat has not get yet a tier 3. There are Spider-Man things going on in the MCU, so perhaps he gets a new uniform, to be honest, and the fact she is tier 2 makes me believe that they're gonna tier 3 the character, or give the character an awaken skill, probably tier 3, and you know, a new uniform. But as value 1-for-1, in my mind, Black Cat is better than Fox, even if you can use Fox for World Boss Legend, if you can use Fox for multiple content because she's tier 3, and you can use only Black Cat for ABX and ABL. So for the ABL and ABX slaves out there, Black Cat is here, guys. Go crazy and buy her. For the rest of the common people like me and you guys, she's gonna probably get something sooner or later. So yeah, chill, do not rush, and do not spend real money for this uniform. So let's go to the next pair and see what else they have dropped during this winter season. So now we have to travel to 2021, and in the first year of the game having tier 4 characters and it was a mind-blowing uniform for Magneto. Magneto and Magik came to the game and brought some new things. Magneto was the meta for really long time, and only a couple of months ago Doctor Strange replaced him. But the point here is that he replaced him 100%. You don't need Magneto for anything in the game, and I was trying to figure out some things that you would get value of him, which is world boss legend leadership or something similar. You know, it's not like he has really unique tags or something. Perhaps the energy projection, if you don't have Iron Man, if you don't have Black Bolt. Other than that, he's kind of common character, and the fact that he gives this lead does not make him, you know, I can't tell you to buy this because the other uniforms without having to spend full cost gives you the same leadership. So he's not getting something to be useful as a support or leadership. He used to be the best character in the game, but now for ABL and ABX, but now Doctor Strange is here, so he became an easy skip after only 3 years. Yes, it's not only actually, it's 3 years, but took him 2.5 years, close to 3 years to be replaced. He was really strong, really busted character, and yes, skip, skip, skip. Do not buy this in my mind. Magik, get yourself a really good, you know, lifting, and she used to be really strong for Alliance Conquest, and only if you had the artifact. I was lucky getting the artifact 6 star with a random chest, but to be honest, you know, there are a lot of people still using here for Alliance Conquest, but it's only Alliance Conquest value and it's B tier. It's not like super good or something. She has value, she doesn't have any support value, she doesn't have any lead value with this uniform like it has for Fox and Black Cat. So in my mind, she is below Black Cat, below Fox, and doesn't worth buying right now. You know, only if you are like an Alliance Conquest Burnhead or something. But perhaps we get something. All these X-Men updates we're waiting, we're not sure what we're gonna figure out, what is going to happen, you know. But in my mind, you know, it doesn't really worth going for this and spend your $20 or $30 to buy an Alliance Conquest B tier unit. As we said, Magneto is a pass also, and at the moment, I feel like the Crystal Coast uniforms are completely pass. You don't need any of them. You don't need Deadpool. You don't need Magneto. You don't need Kingpin. You don't need Groot. I have skipped him. The only two still has great value is, in my mind, first Black Cat and then Fox. So yeah, let's go and see what happened 2023. Now we are at 2023, right? It's 2022 when the year changed to 2023 or something. So yeah, let's go and figure out. So yeah, I lost the dates. It's 2023 for these uniforms. Magneto was 2022 as it seems. I lost the counting. So 2023 uniforms were Phil Coulson and Rogue. So they keep the trend with support characters and characters that give an extra value to their support ability. And the, you know, an example here is Phil Coulson. Phil Coulson used to be support only for superheroes, and as you can see with this uniform, he transformed himself from only heroes to all allies. That means that you can get advantage from the guarding critical rate to all allies and villain characters that didn't had a buff to do this to your characters. You know, to do this, you didn't had a villain buff for guarding critical rate. Guarding critical rate feels weird, but it's extra. It's an extra layer on your criticals. So the more, you know, when you have guarding critical rate 20%, actually it doesn't stack. So if you can get on your character guarding critical rate already like 45 or 30, this is not gonna add anything. But for the characters does not have that, gives your character after the 75% percent that's critical rate gives you a 25 and 20%, one-fifth another critical counting on your skill on your hits. So the more critical rate and the more guardian critical rate your character has, the more likely is to enable your CTP of raids. And as the CTP of raids is still the meta for ABL and ABX, you need a good critical rate, and guardian critical rate helps. The main use for the character that you can't do without the uniform, if you can see here, when you go here, it's only for superhero, and the buff it's similar. So if you use him only for superhero, you don't need the uniform. It's a small buff, it's only 5%, but the fact that he turns for supervillain right now makes him really busted, because he can buff actually Doctor Strange for the Blast Mail Day of ABX. It's just one day, and you need to consider that compared to him, you can go and use Cyclops. We have the same situation as Fox here, so the value you don't get value on your Doctor Strange from guarding critical rate, because Doctor Strange has already guarding critical rate on his kit with his new uniform. He keeps it, or let me show you where it is. Yeah, let me find it. Yeah, it's on the uniform effects, so you can see you have already 30%, so it's not like you get advantage of the guarding critical rate, but you get advantage only from the buff, and the buff it's 50% damage to supervillain, which is really sweet. And yeah, I mean, the other options for this day is Mysterio, but it's also a crystal wall for summer, and the other character you can use is Cyclops with the, because male characters have specific buffs. This is the only reason to go and buy the uniform, so you can pair him as a villain support with your Doctor Strange. The other character is Cyclops, and Cyclops gives a similar buff, but the buff he gives is energy at damage and energy attack actually. And energy attack is not the same value as damage against supervillain. Damage against supervillain has, way more value than the energy attack buff Cyclops gives you. And because the options are limited, for one day of ABX, you're gonna get a better buff on your Doctor Strange for 500,000 to 1 million, depending on your gameplay. His artifact also is helping, but not for this day because it's only for superhero. Generally speaking, you can use your Coulson already and you don't need the uniform. If you want to min-max your ABX and table performance with your Doctor Strange, then yes, go for it. But it's not like huge bump on your damage. And you have to consider that for Fox, the C is buffing Luna Snow 6 to 7, 9 days actually for ABX and ABL if you use her for no restrictions, and Coulson gonna help you only 1 day of ABX with Magneto, and the other thing he can do is help you on no restriction day of Luna. But compare with his old uniform, it's pretty much the old uniform. It's pretty much the same if you use him to buff characters like Luna heroes. So you can still use him without the uniform for Luna or any other hero if you want to, take advantage. The unique advantage you're getting, it's only Doctor Strange 1 ABX day, which is lame. So it's a skip in my mind, depending on how burnhead you are for ABX or not. After that, we have Rogue, and Rogue was, mind blown. Once she came into the game, she was the number one character for 1 day of ABL. She was doing miracles, and she was the best farmer in the game. The fact that she's still the best farmer in the game means a lot. You have to consider that we get like 4 to 5 new characters every month, so she's still, after 1 year, being the best farmer in the game. And I'm gonna do a dedicated video on Rogue and how good she is compared with all the other characters. I'm gonna make a video for the best farmers. It's gonna be 2 days from now probably, so I'm not gonna stretch her value. So the point is she gets replaced from Psylocke for this one ABL day, and in 1 year she managed to be out of the meta of ABL. Besides that, as I told you, she's the best farmer, and I want to showcase her value more later on a video specifically for her, compare her with all the good farmers in the game. So in my mind, she worth, but yeah, if you want the best speed mutant in the game to go for Wolbo's Legend or something, other than that, I told you, it's just a farmer for rifts and D-spots, and yes, that's all. Pretty sad that she got replaced from Psylocke really fast, less than a year, and she was replaced. It was the first seasonal. I felt, why you did that, guys, something like this. But yeah, I totally get that they need to make money against our pockets, so yeah, that was making sense by that. So and we're coming into the last one, 2024. And to be honest, the last one, Sharon Rogers and Gambit, feels to be the easiest winter seasonals to say you can actually skip the characters. You can actually skip the characters without even seeing the patch notes. I haven't seen the patch notes, there are no patch notes yet up. But it's Gambit. Gambit can provide you huge burst for Wolbo's Legend as he is right now. He has some value in the game, but you're not expecting him to have a lead. You're not expecting him to have a passive ability, so probably he's not gonna have value for other characters. You can replace your Cable for one ABL day with him, perhaps if he has a really good hit count, but and the live stream doesn't feel like that. He feels like a Wolbo's Legend killer. For my defense, for his defense, actually, he's gonna looks amazing, and I'm gonna use him for stage 70 Kang, because on stage 70 Kang you have to use Cable with a brilliant distraction or a brilliant energy to take it down, or else it's really hard, and it's male blast mutant day or something stage, so you can't go through with other characters. My Magneto fails, everyone fails, so I hope he pushes a bit the power creep for Wolbo's Legend, and he's gonna be good there. But yes, his value, it's so specific, you need to find yourself a way to utilize him. Most people gonna buy him because of his looks and because he's Gambit, and I totally get it, but in my mind it's an easy skip. And yes, I haven't tested him already, but I can guess the value of the character after these years. I feel like he's gonna be busted for one thing, Wolbo's Legend, and nothing else. If you need that, Gambit is your boy. Probably he's going to replace Cable and Cable's value for Wolbo's Legend. After that, we have Sharon Rogers, a really weird character that it's only on Marvel Future Fight. She is the original, one of the original characters of Marvel Future Fight with Luna, Fox, and some others. And until now, she never had a paywall uniform. Now she's gonna be paywall. Do you need Sharon Rogers for anything in the game? No, completely no. Her playstyle, it's all these years weird. You need to accumulate the damage taken, so you need to press your third skill, take some damage from boss, and then you can accumulate and do some juicy damage, proc friendly, into the Wolbo's Legend. But her tags and her value is limited right now in the game. There's not a lot of things that you can go and use her except Wolbo's Legend. You can use her for GBR also, but I know that you know that there are multiple other characters. Gambit also is gonna get his tier 4, and Sharon already has a tier 4, so yeah, in my mind, whatever Sharon brings into the table, it's gonna be a limited like Gambit. And the only fact that Sharon could be better than Gambit is because, but actually it's the same reason. It's because the blast female characters are not that strong. The best case scenario right now, it's Psylocke, which is used for ABX and ABL, so most people using her with a raids. Raids has not the same value as an energy and a destruction for Wolbo's Legend, and because Sharon Rogers' best CTP are energy and destruction, she's gonna provide probably more damage for Wolbo's Legend. But yeah, the value is limited. So in my mind, the only uniforms you would consider buying right now, as it seems, it's perhaps Coulson, but for really ABX burnheads. And then Black Cat, Fox, but these two also limited value, Rogue for the farming value, but yeah, all the rest are skip. I feel like winter seasonal are one of the worst seasonal because it's the oldest seasonal. So having a lot of old uniforms that has no value right now, the percentages of the valuable characters right now that you can get advantage and get a buff on your account are really low. You know, it's Coulson, Fox, Black Cat as supports, and Rogue as a farmer. And then you have Sharon and Gambit that we have to figure out how strong they're gonna be inside the game, but still limited value as one, one trick pony, World Boss Legend Killer, World Boss Legend Killer for both of them. So I hope this breakdown helped you. Took me more than I thought. It's already 30-minute video. Sorry guys, I start talking and talking and talking, but yeah, I feel like I dropped all the information I wanted to drop. And yes, wish you all happy winter season, and please do not let FOMO go there and spend for the game. I feel like it's the less value season right now in the game. There are some good things that you can do for your account, but still, Black Cat it's the number one in my mind. Black Cat it's the number one value you can get in your account combined with a good artifact on here. C is the number one. Other than that, there's no value. The small, really small value. And yes, I hope I help you decide what you're gonna do in this winter season. Please beware of do not see this and buy it because it's cool. Do not spend. Keep your money safe and be happy with the game. We're looking forward for 2025. The dev note gave me a lot of hope, and yes, let's see what it comes. Oh, an asterisk on that, because we took the dev notes, you have to consider that whatever I'm saying right now for Sharon Rogers could change after the ABX and ABL restriction change or whatever they mention on their dev notes. They're gonna extend the characters. We're not sure yet, so sorry if I mislead you and you miss Sharon, and then during the year Sharon gets some extra value. But yes, it is what it is. Hope you enjoyed. See you into the next. Kisses in your faces.